They called him Anwana, Nsidibe's fifth child, but the villagers whispered that he had river eyes. He was different. While other children chased kites and climbed mango trees, Anwana sat by the river bank and listened to things no one else could hear. At 5, he began to speak in riddles. At 7, he started describing dreams that came true. By the time he turned 9, even the village elders began watching him with careful eyes. One night, as the moon turned yellow and low, Anwana woke Nsidibe. "Mama, the river they call me," he whispered. "Fire they come." He said, "Make I warn the people." She held him close, feeling his heartbeat like a drum under his chest. "Which fire, my son?" she asked. But he only pointed outside toward the silent sky. The night felt too still, like something waiting to happen. The next day, 3 elders said they had the same dream. Flames licking the shrine, goats screaming, and a boy standing in the river, holding a staff of light. Elder Ekpeyon, the oldest among them, called for a meeting. "This boy, this Anwana, the spirit they speak through him," he said. Some villagers laughed. "A child from a woman who was lain with 4 men? Is that who the gods have chosen?" However, others grew silent. Can the gods truly speak through someone born in shame? Can destiny rise from the dust of disgrace? Now, the same people who once mocked Nsidibe began watching her from behind baskets of gari and folded wrappers, not because of her beauty, but because of her child who saw beyond. Dear viewers, what if the child people call strange is actually the one sent to save them? What would you do if your child started seeing visions? An African proverb says, sometimes the mouth of a child carries the voice of the ancestors. It happened 3 nights later, just as Anwana had said. The wind changed. The air felt heavy, like a woman in her 9th month. Then, around midnight, a scream sliced through the village. "The shrine! Fire, they burned the shrine!" People ran barefoot with buckets and calabashes. The elders gathered around the burning thatch, watching the flames crackle like angry spirits. But just before the fire reached the idol's base, a strange thing happened. The wind turned and snuffled the fire out, like someone flapping softly in the air. The people stood in silence. No one could explain it. Then, one of the elders said, "Where that boy? That Anwana boy?" They found him at the river, standing still, looking into the water, like it was telling him a story. "Mama, the river say this one na warning. If them no hear, the next fire will take lives." Nsidibe, her wrapper tied firm around her waist, walked through the crowd with her chin raised high. "Una laugh when I get children from different men, but the gods no laugh," she said. "Is it not the same God who saw through my shame and gave me this child?" Now, the same women who once insulted her avoided her eyes. Some even held their children closer as they passed. But Madame Enobong, Eyo's aged mother, spat on the ground. She carried many wombs, and now she carry lie. The gods will never use a bastard. But deep in her heart, even she felt the cold grip of fear, because that night the river also whispered her name. Dear viewers, do you believe science can come before danger? Tell us what you would do if your dreams started coming true. An African proverb says, "The wind that blows fire today may cool your sweat tomorrow. By the next market day, Creek Town had split into two. Some believed Anwana was choosing. Others said he was cursed. The council of elders gathered under the akpap tree. Eyo sat beside them, his eyes fixed on the ground. Though he still loved Nsidibe, he knew tradition had always been a stubborn goat. Elder Asuko shook his head. Our laws no dey allow a man marry woman wey carry children from different men. Especially not one, not two, not even three, but four. Yes, we know, but the gods no ask una permission. Elder Ekpenyong replied sharply. This boy don't speak, and the fire obey am. Wetin una want here again? Madam Enobong coughed where she sat with her walking stick. If Eyo marry that woman, I go disown am. Make him choose between tradition and that woman of shame. Eyo stood up, tall like the palm tree beside the shrine. I still love Nsidibe, he said simply, and I will stand with her and the children. Gasps spread through the crowd. A man from the back shouted, So you go abandon your people because of one woman? Eyo turned. If we no accept the child wey the gods send, we go lose this land. And if that's how tradition works, then maybe tradition need to bend small. The elders fell silent. The only sound was the rustling of palm fronds and the distant cry of a hawk. Could it be true? Could love and prophecy walk hand in hand? My dear viewers, should a man follow his heart or obey his people? Share your thoughts. Can tradition be wrong sometimes? There is an African proverb that says, if the drum beats no change, the dance go remain the same. That same night, Anwana's forehead began to glow. A strange blue light, like moonlight inside water, spread gently over his skin. His brothers and sisters screamed, running to wake Nsidibe. She rushed to the room, only to find Anwana kneeling, eyes closed, murmuring in a language she couldn't understand. Anwana, she cried. He opened his eyes slowly. The river say, I must go to the shrine. It is time. By morning, the news had spread like wildfire. People gathered at the shrine, waiting. Anwana walked barefoot, his small frame surrounded by silence. He placed his palm on the idol and whispered a prayer. Suddenly, the clouds above split open. Thunder clapped. Rain poured heavily, but only over the shrine. Everywhere else stayed dry. Elder Ekpenyong fell to his knees. This boy, he no be ordinary again. Madam Enobong turned her face away, but her lips quivered. Nsidibe stood at the back, tears rolling down her face. Was this the same child people once called useless seed? Was this the same womb they once cursed? Now, even the gods had spoken through him. Beloved viewers, what if your rejected child becomes your only light in darkness? Do you believe people can be marked by destiny? An African proverb says, a calabash rejected by the stream may carry the river's secrets. That evening, Nsidibe sat alone in her compound, staring at the clay wall like it held the answers. All 9 of her children slept close, their heads resting on each other's backs like kittens under rain. The wind blew gently, and a thought came to her. Once they laughed at me, now They hide their fear behind respect. A knock interrupted her. It was Madame Enobong, leaning on her stick. "I come to see the boy," she said. Nsidibe was silent for a while. "Why now, Mama Eyo? When they say I be shame to tradition, where you been dey?" The old woman looked down, her eyes tired. "I no come to beg. I just wan look at the child. Na him wey appear for my dream." Together, they entered the room. Anwana opened his eyes and smiled. "You fight my mama. A spirit no send you. Spirit send love." Madame Enobong froze. How he take no? Nsidibe chuckled softly. He see beyond. Remember? The old woman wept silently. Her tears touched the floor like oil from a cracked lamp. "If the gods fit forgive you, maybe me too." For the first time, Nsidibe saw peace in the eyes of the woman who once hated her the most. Maybe shame was never hers to carry. Maybe her womb wasn't cursed, it was choosing. Dear viewers, can your greatest pain become your highest honor? Would you forgive someone who tried to destroy your future? The Holy Bible talks say, the stone wey people reject fit become the pillar of the house. Creek Town burst with talk. The elders called it madness. The children called it magic. The market women called it a mystery. But one old hunter, Uncle Okon, said something different. "Go ask her father," he said. Edet, the talking drummer, he know wetin that child carry. Nsidibe had not seen her father in years. He had been cast out for marrying a woman from the river people. Many believed her mother had water in her blood. With Eyo by her side, she traveled to the forest edge, where her father lived in a mud hut surrounded by drums and carved masks. When he saw them, he smiled. "So, the fifth seed don't wake?" he asked, eyes shining. "So you know?" Nsidibe asked, looking confused. "I been dey wait. Your womb carry prophecy. Now why the men no fit keep you? The spirits, they guide your journey." He opened a box and brought out a folded white cloth with symbols sewn into it. "Wear this on the boy. He go complete the cleansing, but you must protect him." Nsidibe trembled. "So the shame I carry all those years, na part of the plan?" Edet nodded. "Yes, you no be cursed person. You be the chosen one." For the first time, she saw her past not as punishment, but as preparation. Every heartbreak, every child, every tear that you have ever experienced was for this moment. My dear viewers, what if everything you went through was building you for greatness? Don't you think that our pain sometimes may prepare us for our purpose? There is a saying that even the snake's path in the forest has meaning. When the day of the cleansing arrived, the sky turned grey. The wind stood still. People gathered at the river bank with fear wrapped in their wrappers. Nsidibe led Anwana forward, dressed in the white clothes sewn by her father. Behind them stood all 9 children, and beside her, Eyo, his hand in hers. Elder Ekpenyong lifted his staff. "If not this child be the child of prophecy, let the river speak." Anwana stepped into the water. The river bubbled. Fish leapt. Then suddenly, stillness. He raised both arms. "The land has blood on it. The shrine was desecrated. The gods wants cleansing. The villagers knelt. Even the stubborn elders all knelt down. Then Anwana took a calabash filled with river water and walked from hut to hut, sprinkling it as he sang in a voice not his own. When he reached Madame Enobong's house, he paused. "You hate my mama, but love still dey wait for you." She cried like a baby. By evening, the air felt lighter. Goats bleated, birds returned. The river was clear again. People danced, cried, and hugged one another. And all eyes turned to Nsidibe, not as the woman of shame, but as the mother of salvation. Can a rejected woman save an entire people? If it were you, would you follow a child sent by the river spirit? There is a proverb that says, "A single drop of truth can cleanse a river of lies." That night, Nsidibe sat outside, her legs folded under her, looking at the stars. Eyo came and sat beside her. "Are you still afraid?" he asked. She nodded. "Every time I look at Anwana, I dey wonder, will they try to harm him?" Eyo took her hand. "Then, let me stand beside you. I no be elder again. I no get land again, but I get love." She looked at him. "You sure say you fit handle me and 9 children?" she teased. He laughed. "If the gods fit choose you, who I be to reject you?" They sat quietly, and for the first time since she left Creektown as a broken child, Nsidibe felt whole again. She didn't need a wedding ring. She didn't need the town's approval. She already had something deeper: peace, purpose, and love. My dear viewers, is love stronger than tradition? And its honest answer: should a man give up everything to stand by the woman he loves? An African proverb says, "The palm tree that bends for the wind will still stand after the storm." Words spread beyond Creektown. People came from nearby villages to see the boy who speaks to water and the woman the gods choose. Some came out of curiosity, others came for healing, but they all left in awe. Women who had been mocked came to her for strength. "Mama Nsidibe," they called her now, "tell us how you survive it." And she would smile and say, "Now the same people wey insult you go later sing your name. Just stay strong." Her market store now overflowed. Her older children helped with the trade. Her younger ones went to school. Anwana, he still sat by the river sometimes, drawing shapes only the spirits understood. But he laughed more now. As for Eyo, he built them a small house on the hill, away from the noise, where love could breathe and peace could sleep. Can someone once mocked become the one people run to for hope? What lesson does Nsidibe's story teach you? Remember, today's disgrace may become tomorrow's drumbeat. One evening, as the sun set golden over the water, Anwana walked alone to the river. He placed a small stone where the waves met the shore and whispered, "Thank you." The wind danced across the water, and for a moment, the river whispered back, "Mama, dey strong," he said. "I go protect her." Then he turned back smiling. At home, Nsidibe was stirring soup, humming a song from her childhood. Her children played in the compound. Eyo repaired the fence. Peace had finally come. She looked up as Anwana entered. "You go river again?" she asked. He nodded. "River say he don finish." She smiled. "Then so be it." The story of Nsidibe, once judged, now honored, was no longer a whisper. behind baskets or gossip under trees. It became a legend. What have you learned from this story of rejection, prophecy, and love? Have you ever in your life experienced rejection? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. This is the end of the story about Nsidibe, the woman they all once laughed at, the one they whispered about, the one they rejected. But look again, she was never just a woman with many children from different men. She was a vessel, a warrior, a mother chosen by the Spirit to protect an entire people. She walked through fire. She was bruised, but never broken. And in the end, the same mouth that cursed her began to call her Mother of Salvation. My dear viewers, let us pause and reflect on this. If the gods can choose someone rejected and labeled a bastard by their own people, how much more powerful is the mercy of God Almighty, the creator of the heavens and the earth, the giver of life? The end. Moral lesson: never judge a person by their scars. Every scar tells a survivor story. Never mock a woman's journey. You don't know what crown she's growing inside her pain. And most importantly, the palm fruit that falls late may be the sweetest. If this story moved you, tell us in the comment section. Do you believe destiny can rise from disgrace? Can love truly break tradition and rebuild hope? Let your voice be heard. Share your thoughts. Like this video if you believe in second chances. Share this story with someone who needs encouragement. Subscribe and turn on your bell notification so you don't miss the next inspiring African story. Remember that the woman they all wanted was the one they first threw away. Check out our African folktale playlist below for more inspiring African stories. Until I bring another story again your way. Bye and stay safe.